gonna show you how to get the best servers and ping. Then I'm gonna share the best settings. And finally, we're gonna dive into a match and show you how beautiful it looks, as well as how dominant you can be with these settings. After getting incredibly tired of lagging in Call of Duty, I actually found a software that fixed it. And after reaching out to a representative of the company, they wanted to sponsor a video after I told them how much it helped me. Don't worry, you don't have to be a tech genius to understand how it works. You buy Exit Lag, get their software, find Call of Duty in their library, click it, and let Exit Lag do all the work. They use their AI route optimizer to find the best routes for data packets in real time, optimizing your connection to over 2,000 game servers worldwide. And their dynamic stabilizer routes data packets through up to 4 different... This is dumb. No one's gonna understand that. Here's the deal. They basically allow you to click a couple of buttons and you get ping that's really good every single game. It's that simple. Not to mention, if you really want to leg up on the competition, their software also allows you to optimize your PC to ensure you're getting the best performance out of your system. It actually helped me get rid of a stuttering issue I've had for months. At the end of the day, with over 1,000 servers across 5 continents and 18 million weekly optimizations, you should definitely give it a shot. And if not, you're basically just losing games and wasting your time for absolutely no reason. I realize you're probably just gonna run through the settings and copy them all, but before you do, I'm gonna let you in on a secret. Settings aren't that hard to understand, and creators trick you into thinking they are so they can get views. It's absurd. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you a list of settings that are important in each section. Those matter the most and will for every single update or new game that comes out with Call of Duty. They'll likely never change. Then just set the rest to whatever works best for you, or follow the images I share on the screen. First, let's dive into controller settings. The first of which is controller vibration. Now, a lot of you probably have this set to on, and the reason why is because you like to feel that rumble in your hands or other places because you're a freak. And I don't think that's a great idea for whenever you're trying to aim at a target. So you definitely want to set that to off to ensure that your thumb isn't jiggling around your enemy. Next, to ensure that you're getting proper aim assist, you need to set up your dead zone inputs. You're going to notice that my left stick minimum and my right stick minimum are both set to 4, and that's because without it, I actually have stick drift. When I go to test my dead zone, you can see that both of those little sticks are jiggling around on the right. But if I actually turn that off, go over and change this number to 4 right here, it's going to make those stop entirely. That's what's going to keep you from randomly moving about or randomly looking away whenever you're actually not touching the analog stick. More importantly, you'll notice that my left stick max is 70 and my right stick max is 100. The left stick is your movement. If you want to make sure that you start moving as fast as possible, you need to set that to 70, because that means when you push your stick 70%, then you'll immediately start full sprinting. However, on the right analog stick, you want to make sure that's set to 100, because if you have it anything less, then you're going to basically make it where you're going to aim farther than you want to before you want to. Moving on to the second page, when it comes to sensitivity, it's basically entirely up to you, but I do think that you should change your vertical sensitivity to at least 1 lower than your horizontal sensitivity, because you're not going to be looking up and down as often as you are left to right. I'd also recommend changing your custom sensitivity per zoom, and the reason why is because that's going to allow you to really hone in on your enemies whenever they cross by. So if I have something like a reflex sight on my gun, I want to be aiming at 75% of what I would if I wasn't aiming down sight. The same goes for 2 to 3 times, and then when we get into 4 to 5 times, 6 to 7 times, 8 to 9 times, and even higher, we want to really ensure that we're able to move faster because we're zoomed in so far. So when you're using a sniper rifle, it's easier to track your enemies. Beyond that, you want to make sure your aim assist type is set to default, because that's going to be best for every single player and gives you the strongest aim assist. And you want to make sure the response curve type is dynamic, because that's going to allow you to track your enemies the best, because your analog stick is going to move basically how you want it to. You'll start aiming faster and slow onto your target as you really hone in. As for the third page, there's 5 settings that are very important that you set basically exactly how I have. First, automatic sprint should be set to automatic tactical sprint if you want to run as fast as physically possible, as soon as physically possible. As a little side note, you should also turn on slide maintain sprint, but it's entirely up to you. I just think it makes it easier to slide cancel and move about the map quicker. And similar to that, tactical sprint behavior, I also set to single tap run, but again, this is not super important. It's just one of those that I find helpful. Now, grounded mantle is a bit controversial, but I have it set to on, because if you don't have it set to on, you'll never make it through a window ever. However, it will also get you eliminated, because you're going to be mantling on random objects when you you don't want to. Either way, it's definitely worth it to set it to on, because if you don't, you're going to be a lot slower when trying to evade gunfights. Personally, I set slide dive behavior to slide only because I find it incredibly difficult to deal with dive only or tap to dive or tap to slide, and hybrid is just very weird for my hands to understand. So slide only, when I find that I slide the most, is what I think is the best for most people as well. Another setting that's super important on this page is the interact and reload behavior. I always think that people should set this to prioritize interact. That way, if you're trying to pick something up on the go, you're going to always pick up that thing. You should also set your armor plate behavior to apply all, because if you have it set to apply one, then you're never going to be able to play it up in the middle of a gunfight, and you're just going to always have to replay and replay and replay. Moving into graphics, these are a bit more rapid fire. First, display mode, set that to full screen exclusive at all times, because that's how you're going to get the most frames and the best vertical sync out of your game. Always make sure your screen refresh rate is at the absolute max that it can be for whatever your monitor is. And brightness is a little bit tricky, because in Call of Duty, this is actually going to wash out your game and make it look a little bit worse, but it'll make it where you can see your enemies more. And personally, I set this to 57. For the love of God, set eco mode to custom, because it's basically just losing frames at all time if you set it to either one of these. VSync is something you should never cut on unless you are a content creator. It doesn't matter if it's beautiful, it matters if you can get an elimination as quickly as physically possible, because you see the exact position of your enemy. So keep vertical sync off. And finally, custom frame rate needs to be set to an actual custom frame rate. So again, figure out what your max refresh rate is, and I would recommend going 5 frames over that to ensure that you hit that max frame rate at all times, but also don't waste any of your GPU on those extra frames that you just don't need. Moving on to the second page, this is going to directly affect the way that your game looks at all times. And the one thing you need to know, the most important setting when it comes to making your game look beautiful, believe it or not, is your fidelity cast under upscaling and sharpening. Now, I think people on Xbox and PlayStation won't have this, but if you do have it, go ahead and set it to 100%, not 90, not 80, not 50, set it to 100%. And if you set every other setting to low or off, I promise your game will look 100 times better than if you had this turned off, everything else turned on. Besides that, I do think that having your render resolution set to 100 at all times, regardless of what monitor you have, is very important to ensuring that it looks correct. Honestly, I've set this to 8K before, and you can see it going up slowly, but even at 8K, it doesn't look any better because my monitor only goes up to 4K. So don't ever do like 200%, and definitely don't go anything below 100, because then your game's going to look terrible. And while you might get a few frames from it, it's definitely not worth it. As for path tracing and ray reconstruction, I always have that set to off. People are going to tell you, ooh, you can get more frames from that. There's a lot of people that are like sending out videos that say you should use path tracing. Basically, this is DLSS for those of you that don't know. And what you'll do is you'll set it to something like ultra performance, or balanced, and you'll get a ton more frames than what you normally have. But actually, your game is basically just making up frames for you, which means it's not actually where your enemies are, which means you're never going to hit your shots when you need to hit your shots. So never turn this on, regardless of how many frames you think you're gonna get. It is not worth it. As for VRAM scale target, if you have a very good GPU, set it to 80. If you have a medium to not so great GPU, set it to 90, and make sure nothing else is open on your computer that's going to use your graphics card. For some reason, I still see people that have this on. For the love of God, turn off depth of field. On-demand texture streaming is going to use way too many resources when it really shouldn't, so go ahead and turn that off as well. Local texture streaming quality needs to be set to low, because honestly, I've been able to see 0 difference, and the loss of frames is pretty much pointless. And finally, water quality should have water caustics. Nothing else is necessary, and you will never notice it while you're playing the game, because you're trying to eliminate enemies, not stare at how beautiful the water is. Moving into the third and final tab, under your graphics settings, go ahead and set your FOV to 120, or if you can't handle that, I would at the very least set it to 107 or 110 to 115. At 120, I know a lot of people get motion sick, but it does give you the best field of view, and you can see the most things around you. People say that it affects the way that your aim assist works, but that's just not the case. It just makes it to where you can see the aim assist working better. It literally makes me laugh at how goofy that sounds. It does not affect your aim assist in any way. It's just whether or not you can tell that your aim assist is working. It's kind of like a placebo, if you will. The 2 settings that are going to make the most important changes for your gameplay are world motion blur and weapon motion blur. When you have those 2 things on, you will never see anything going on around you ever. You literally can't see when an enemy's on your right if you go to turn, because it will blur them out. Turn these two things off, as well as film grain, set that to 0, because when you go inside and you're in a dark area, it's gonna make it very pixelated. And if you ever have a grenade thrown at you and your screen shakes a ton, it's because you have this camera movement set to 100. Go ahead and set the first person and the third person camera movement to 50%. And moving into audio, the best audio mix that a person can use is the cinema audio mix, because it just gives you that surround sound that you need, even if it's not as good because of things like precisions and doors slamming and stuff like that. It's still as close as you're going to get to getting your audio tuned. And this one isn't a huge deal, but I did find that when I was speaking to other people in the game, they said that my mic was getting blown out, and you might have this same issue. I would recommend changing your microphone level to around 10%, because when you set that puppy all the way to 100, it sounds terrible. Moving into interface, we're just changing a couple of the default settings. The first of which is the minimap shape. When you have that set to circle, you actually cannot see as many things. Also, make sure your minimap rotation is set to on as well, because that'll track you properly, and it works better with most people's brains. You can set that to off if you find it doesn't work with your brain. Moving into crosshairs, a lot of people are gonna have this center dot set to on. Don't have that on ever, because it's not actually where you should be aiming because of the way that the aiming system works in Call of Duty, but your crosshair dot here should be set to on, because it allows you to see the exact center of your screen, or at least where your gun is actually going to shoot. And crosshairs, of course, should be set to on. And finally, never have your player names set to full name. Set it to abbreviated. Do not set it to icon only. Set it to abbreviated so you know your teammate's name. You do not need their clan tag. Aside from that, here is a bunch of screenshots showing every single setting that I have in the game. That way you can copy it if you want to, but I wanted to give you the most important settings. That way you know exactly what you need to change no matter what. So before we actually dive in and grab this, I want you to pay attention to the FPS and the latency. Obviously, you can see, one, I do have it locked at 165 FPS, which is why you're going to see that it maxes at that exact number, but it runs smooth. And I mean very smooth. On top of that, the latency is super, super low, but it looks like we're going to have some guys coming with us.
Eliminate all targets.
Got to get this guy, easy peasy, get them out of there. We just dive on over to here, baby. I mean, that's, oh, that could have been a good start. It was, for just a second, a good start, and then I fell. Okay, let's grab this. Not so much. I was hoping for a little bit something extra, but it's not happening. You're gonna have to disregard. I do sound a little nasally. It's because I've had this sickness for so long, and I recorded the stuff at the beginning of the video yesterday, but I want to show you this today. And I do apologize. I'm trying to breathe, but it's just this whole thing. Regardless, we are sitting pretty at like 160. And I'd like to remind you, I am playing at 4K resolution. For those of you that don't know, that's twice the resolution of 1440p. That's ridiculous. So for me to be able to play at this and get 165 frames per second locked in, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's ridiculous. Now let's use this PRD. We're gonna rotate over. Our goal is to just pop off. That's it. I've been playing with Pipe all day, and we've just been testing these settings out and making sure everything looks great, runs great. He enjoyed them as well. That's what he's been using, is the exact same settings as me. The only real thing that you're going to notice is every once in a while, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you probably won't be able to see it in the actual video, but if you look at the bottom of the screen, there's a little bit of screen tear, and I don't think that has to do with my settings. I think that has to do with Call of Duty. But on top of that, I do want to remind you, and I should have said this during the graphics part, but I think it's important to say it now for those of you that stuck around. Please update your graphics drivers. That is such a big deal, and you have no idea how much of a difference it makes. I literally went up like 40 FPS by updating my graphics drivers to the newest ones. Let's grab that UAV. Let's pop that. We're gonna grab this deployable and toss it right here.
You have a buy station inbound.
There's a guy outside on the right over there. He was. Down that building.
Deployable buy.
He's dead. Easy peasy. There's gonna be a guy probably right there in just a second. Most likely. I don't know. I am going to have to buy my own specialist, but that's okay because we do have a bounty sitting right here. Easy peasy, baby. Let's grab this. I mean, you can see just how beautiful this game looks whenever you have these settings on. Like, obviously, I'm playing in 4K, so it's going to be a little different than how you see it, but it's still, I mean, night and day difference from the default settings that comes with Call of Duty that I know that a lot of people never know how to change. Yeah, we're just going to go for this guy. Should be good. Oh, I'm dead, actually. Smoke that guy. Oh, I'm dead. Woo! Hey, dog. How'd that feel, boy?
Hell of a job.
It popped UAV for a split second, which told us that there was a guy up top over there. That guy's done for, baby. 10 grand. We are popping off already. 4 eliminations. Let's see if this guy had some cash. Easy peasy, baby. And the audio sounds so freaking good. Oh, I could have just... Hold on. Let's grab the extra kill streak. That's fine. Then we got something going on over there, but there should also still be a guy over here because I didn't eliminate him earlier. So I'm curious if he is still here. There he is. Get out of here, King Lothbrock! Nice. Bounty averted. We've got 16K. We're getting there. We just need to get $30,000 to get this specialist. We're just looking around for as many people as we possibly can. And I mean, the big thing that I love about these settings is that there's no like stutters. There's nothing that holds you back or anything like that. If you have an issue, it's going to be a server issue. And those server issues are also usually negated by exit lag, which is huge. So we got to just find a guy over here. Right there. All right. I gotta get this guy. Let's see if we can do it. Let's freaking go. He's gone. We should be able to grab that. Wonder if anybody's nearby. That guy didn't have any cash. I don't think. Unless I just missed it entirely. See the most wanted right there? I think he's in a car based on how fast he's moving. Right there. He is inside. Pepsi Man! Da 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 da! Pepsi Man! Da 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 da! That guy's name is Pepsi Man if you couldn't figure it out. Got that coming in. God dang it. I knew that was going to be up top.
Enemies are dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Get rid of that. He had a guy shooting at him from right there. Should be able to open the crate. Grab the bunker key card. There's a bunker nearby, and I'm getting sniped from the left side. I don't know where on the left side, so that's a little nerve-wracking. Come on. What the heck? He's obviously on the bottom. Lots of bullets over there. What? Nice. I forgot that was there. Okay. I forgot I didn't have specialists and I just ran right into that. That could have been death for sure. Woo! Get out of there, Red Typhoon. Guy in the building beside us. Oh, it's the whatchamacallit from earlier. Probably not the greatest play to take this person on. So I think what I'm going to do is just rotate this direction and see if I can get out of here. This person is the only decent one we've really ran into so far. Like the one of like really good players. Obviously, I'm not saying no one's good. It's just that I'm not giving anyone a chance to be good.
You got time for another target.
Okay. Probably ecos that. Yep. Thank you for sitting in the corner, bud. Appreciate it. Did scare me a little bit. Nothing crazy. I need to go ahead and play it up because if I get hit by a bomb drone, then it's guaranteed death. So I always try and stay completely full plated. Let me grab this. Old boy's camping that building right there. Good to keep in mind. We're going to jump early. Just trying to get as many eliminations as I can here just to showcase how good this setup is, ladies and gentlemen. I know you probably love that. We're sitting on 9 milliseconds ping. That is crazy. Single digits. I will say when you're playing duos, trios, or quads, you're going to notice that it's a little bit different because it has to, you know, focus on your teammates' connections as well. I wonder if I can do it. Yeah, boy. Push it. I stuck him. Oh my god. That's crazy, dude. Oh! Cool. That's perfect. I did not realize there was 2 Bettys in there, dude. That's insane. Look at that bag, baby. Grab everything that I need out of here. I don't have a thermite. Dang it. Well, that kind of sucks. Thermites are huge in this, and we don't have one now, so this is what it is. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It does suck. It's okay. And we're going to take this because we got the key card in our inventory. So we can just go straight in here and we'll be able to grab boots. So it all works out. I was paying attention if there was a guy up top. I probably should have, but I wasn't. Since we're playing solo, I'm just going to grab whatever I can. Which means boots can be out here for all I care. We're going to grab that PDS. Perfect. Okay, so I know that there's a guy in here.
Gas is inbound, marking a new safe zone.
I don't know if I have a gulag token is the issue. Boots. Don't need foresight.
Right. Maps updated with all future safe zones.
Nice.
Gas is inbound.
Get him out of there. That man needs to go.
Destroyed. Deploying supply drops
Sometimes you
to
just gotta
location.
lock it in and make sure no one's gonna get you.
Dropping into the AO. Friendly buy station deployed.
I wish I could hear whether or not there was a guy here.
Copy. Counter UAV running signal interference. Friendly buy station is ready.
I knew it. Woo! Drake, what the plan, baby? Drake, what the plan, dog?
You man,
No, 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 no. What's the language?
stupid.
Counter UAV exiting the AO.
Woo! Get Pepsi Man out of here. I gotta get a UAV now. We got an RDB to be tossed on the roof, which is perfect. This guy right there. He probably rose back. Oh, I'm dead. Oh my God. Dirty! What up, baby? Got that dirty 30, baby.
You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocated.
Get that out of there. I like that.
UAV is being refueled.
Got a guy on the right. We got two guys right there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop right inside. Watch.
Loadout drops on the way.
Surprised that guy didn't ego.
Closing.
Get that man out of there. Dang it. All right. Well, I tried. I need to go get something other than... What is it called? Frag grenades. There we go. My map's not loading in. Call of Duty's been super weird today. Ironically, I'm trying to show y'all setting video in Call of Duty breaks. Look at this. You see how everything's not loading in? Shout out to Call of Duty. It looks like my settings don't work now. No! Call of Duty's gotta ruin it! Oh, that's cool. Guy just landed up there for sure. Oh, shoot. Let's pop. Two people up there. We can't focus on that, though. We have two people over here. Three people over here.
Gas is closing in. Get to the new zone.
Okay. You see how nothing's loading in? This literally just happened earlier.
Up now. UAV is being refueled.
Does it look like I'm cheating? No, there's a window there. Okay, cool. Holy, 25, baby. Let's go. Let's go get a UAV real quick. Good God. Why does Call of Duty have to make my stuff look like it doesn't work? Like, look at this. I don't know how to get out of here. Okay, cool. Yeah, let's hope there's a ladder there. This is insane. There's a guy in this building over here.
UAV is exiting the AO.
I literally can't see if he's in there because the whole map's not loading. This is incredible. Anything? Dude, you gotta be kidding. Jeez, a Lou.
UAV is being refueled. RTB at this time. Enemy buy station incoming.
Holy, get rid of it. This is crazy.
Gas is closing in.
I can literally
Relocating
just
the
see
safe
through the
zone.
wall right there. This is stupid. Why can't I see through the wall, bro? You know what?
Got gas moving in.
I mean, it just gives you wall hacks. That's what it is. See that guy? It definitely looks like I'm cheating, bro. Whoa!
Good work.
Let's go! All right, look, it has nothing to do with the settings that I can see through walls, but it is kind of funny, right? Look, you're not gonna be able to see through walls with these settings, but you could pop off. That's all I'm saying. You could pop off if you wanted to. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an incredible remainder of your day. Check out Exit Lag. Of course, the link's in the description down below. I hope you have a good one. I'll be seeing you next time. Hasta luego. Bye-bye.